What's up, my magical peeps? In this video, I'm going to talk about how to fall in love with your journey in life, even when it is challenging. Because we all know it can feel a little like bullshit most of the time, especially when we don't know where we're going and we are feeling like crap. If you are new here, welcome, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. My name is Emily and I am the Introspective Lady. On my channel, you will find all things self-development, self-awareness, consciousness, manifestation, all that fun stuff to help us find our purpose and live a really healthy and meaningful life. So how do we fall in love with our journey even when shit gets hard? I know when I was scrabbling about at the bottom of the barrel in my own pit of despair, that everything kind of felt hopeless. There wasn't really any meaning to my life, and I wasn't sure if we have a purpose or if we have to make our own purpose, and I honestly still am not really sure of that, and I'm kind of figuring it out along the way. But what really helped me fall in love with my journey and start respecting the ebb and the flow of emotions that we have is just totally looking at my little Emily life experience from a different perspective. When I was in the pit of despair, I thought everything was happening to me, and I didn't believe that I had another choice. I thought that I always had to suffer from my anxieties and from depression, and I thought that I was always going to be stuck where I was, and that I didn't have the ability to move through that. I thought that I always had to be chained to those ideas. And then I think probably a lot of us go through this moment, but you kind of wake up one day and you're just like, oh my God, I'm so sick of my own bullshit. And I don't want to be this version of myself anymore. I don't want to live like this. I'm miserable. I'm suffering. I hate my life. I'm broke. I'm withdrawing. I am not experiencing life the way that I would like to experience. And this can't be the only way. And thank the Lord that it actually isn't. However, when we are kind of stuck in that mindset of fear and hopelessness, it's really hard to see a different way or to know that you have the ability to choose a different way. And I think it's also important to recognize that it's actually okay to be in those places too. That's part of the natural evolution of being a human being. And it actually takes that kind of moment of clarity to be like, nah, I don't want this anymore, for you to, and for me and us and we as a whole to start thinking, no, you know what? I actually want to choose something else. And from that comes your personal power. We start questioning our thoughts, we start questioning our emotions, we start questioning the things around us, like where is this coming from, and how can I start actually creating a life that I want to live and enjoy rather than being stuck all the time. And that process of you pulling yourself out and start making different choices, even about the way that you think too. Like, part of this is actually recognizing what kind of thoughts are coming in and realizing that you get to decide which ones you start to believe and which ones you want to let go of. And that's such an empowering thing, because we have random thoughts all the time. I mean, that's what people call intrusive thoughts, right? Like, you have like really crazy thoughts that you're like, oh my God, where did that come from? And we all have these things, right? But we actually don't have to act on them. We don't have to choose them. We can just be like, whoa, that was a wild thought. And then that thought we just say, okay, goodbye. And then it floats on through. Once we start realizing that we have that kind of power within us, we can start reframing how we view our journey as a whole. We can start to embody the acceptance of where we're actually at right now, we realize, hey, I don't really like this life that I'm living. Can I change it? And the answer is yes, you can. How do you start doing that? You start recognizing the thoughts that you have. You start recognizing your emotions. You start recognizing your behavioral patterns. And you start evolving your journey into something that actually feels better for you rather than being stuck in desperation and hopelessness and fear. Once I had this mindset shift, once I kind of started to change my perspective, and instead of things happening to me, I allowed them to happen for me as a way that I can see how the world is reflecting to me what I am putting out into it. And that gave me a lot of power, because then I could look at things as a challenge and a little like, almost like a level up or something along those lines, like kind of a game, a little bit of a game. Like life is more of a game rather than it's like a terrible wasteland that nobody can get out of. And that shift in perspective has helped me so much to actually respect and love my journey, even when it's like really annoying and difficult and you just don't want to do it. And some days you just don't want to, You're like, nah, not today. I can't handle it. This is too much. And that's fine. We definitely put, or at least for me, I put way too much pressure on myself when I am trying to even like make a video like I am now. We at our core want to express ourselves. We want to express the creativity that comes from within. And when we feel blocked from that, or when we feel like we can't do it, we can get really angry, we can get upset, we can get frustrated, we can get kind of balled up, and we feel like the world is against us. But if we are able to switch the script and say, okay, how can I express myself with the tools that I have right now? Even if you can express it just a tiny bit, you'll notice yourself feeling better and you'll notice yourself opening up. And I think that is actually what connecting to your true authentic self is all about. And another big thing that I am personally going through right now is trust. I have to fully trust in myself and for me, in my experience, I believe in a universal power that moves us all. And I do believe that there is a purpose for me, and that following my excitement is how I realize that purpose. And it all kind of flows together in like a beautiful little nugget that just, feels really good to you once you start expressing yourself. So once we start to understand where we are located in the world and how we can start pulling ourselves out of those places and start following a path that feels refreshing, that feels exciting, that feels this, feels that. Once we start following that path and understanding that the journey is not always linear and we're not always going to understand it, we have a developed acceptance and respect for that journey, so that when things do feel a little bit more challenging and we're like, oh my goodness, I have no idea where I am right now, this is frustrating, this is hard, you can actually feel those emotions and then take a moment to step back and be like, okay, the journey's not always going to be easy, and that's okay. And having that acceptance and respect for it kind of almost like helps you fall in love with the journey over and over and over again. And you have to trust that the clarity is going to come to you, because then when you get in these moments, these ruts of feeling angry or desperate or fearful, if you have that trust that it's going to end, that piece is going to end, and you're gonna have that ebb and flow, and the wave is gonna come up, because what goes up must come down, and all that kind of interesting, fun stuff. And that's kind of an interesting thought that I just had. See, I'm learning right alongside you. We're all in this together on our crazy, weird little journeys that we're all having. Where are you on your journey? I'd love to hear what part you're at and what challenges you're facing right now. Let me know in the comments, pop those down below. I would love to have a conversation about this, because I feel like the more that we can express ourselves, like me expressing myself right here, the more we help each other on our journeys, and we can learn to respect them and accept them, love them, and then clarity comes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day today, and I would love to hear from you. So make sure you reach out, message me, pop down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.